Hello everyone, welcome to the Stalwart Initiative, and we're back for another Unearthed Arcana review. This time we're looking at Unearthed Arcana 2021, Folk of the Feywild. 4 new race options for your characters, all Feywild themed. Let's get into it. So we're going to be looking at the fairy, the Hobgoblin of the Feywild, Owlfolk and Rabbitfolk in this Unearthed Arcana. First up, we have the creating your character stuff. This is just reiterating some of the changes on what they're doing as far as character creation in 5e. The ability score increases. You now get to pick 2 points into any stat and 1 point into another. And as well as languages, you start off with common and one other language that you decide with your DM that makes sense for your character. As well as your creature type, which is now not all humanoid, as you'll definitely see in this Unearthed Arcana. So yeah, it lists all the types of creatures in 5e and says that you can be, part or all of any of these types of creatures. Let's start with our first racial option, the fairy. The Feywild is home to many fanatic peoples, including fairies. Fairies are a wee folk, but not nearly as much so as their pixie or sprite friends. Infused with the magic of the Feywild, fairies share a few commonalities with one another, but can differ widely in appearance, behavior, and attitude. Many fairies have a special physical characteristic that sets them apart from other creatures of their kind. For your fairy, roll on the Fey characteristics table or choose an option from it. The Feywild is a wild place, so come up with your own characteristic if none of these fits your character. Which I'm very glad they put that at the end, so you're not pigeonholed if your roles is written. If you're not pigeonholed into these options. Not that this is all playtest anyway for the time being, but should this go into final print, I do like it that they say or create your own. So your this is the Fey characteristics table here, and yeah, nice little set of characteristics to choose from. And now we're going on to the fairy traits. So your creature type is Fey, strictly Fey, not humanoid. This is very. I'm glad that they're willing to take the leap. Kind of seems like they wanted to dip their toes in the water with the centaur and everything. Yeah, it's okay. I feel it's okay to have a Fey character in my campaign. I don't see why it wouldn't be an option. Doesn't even have to be the hybrid, the lineage stuff. Fey is great. Fine. Your size is small, and your walking speed is 30 feet, and you have fairy flight. You have a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover. This flight is magical and does not require the use of your wings if you have them. This could be fun in a couple ways. One, if it is magical and doesn't require wings if you have them. If you don't have wings and you fly just through magic, and a baddie casts, dispel magic on you, and you fall down, that could create some funny moments or tragic moments, as you could tell. I am kind of mixed on the flying as an innate racial ability, especially like with things like the arrow croaker that's already around. It's okay. I don't mind it, but it makes it hard to balance as a DM for other players, because flying negates so many different things you can set up, like traps and role-playing scenarios and stuff. It negates so many things and makes that player kind of a lone wolf in a lot of different ways during the campaign. But yeah, hey, as a player, yeah, I love to have flying and not to have to use a spell slot to do so or some similar feature. Great, good stuff. Next up, we have Fairy Magic. You know the Druidcraft and Fairy Fire spells. Druidcraft is a prestidigitation type of Druid cantrip, which is nice to have, and Fairy Fire, good to have. And you can cast Fairy Fire without expending a spell slot, and you must finish a long rest before you can cast it in this way again. You can also cast this spell using any spell slot you have. Your spellcasting ability for these spells is your choice of intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. A couple things here. The fact that you can use spell slots, you officially get the spell and you get 1 free use of it per long rest for Fairy Fire, and Druidcraft is a cantrip, so you don't need spell slots for it. I do like that. That you get one for free, and then you can use spell slots after that. And Fairy Fire is a first level spell slot, so they don't have to specify any level. The fact that they let you choose between intelligence, wisdom, and charisma is fantastic, because certain racial abilities have been in the past tied to a specific ability score, and that just kind of sucks if you're playing a cleric and your spellcasting modifier for your racial stuff is charisma. So I'm glad they let you choose there. And your last ability, because why not have another one, is Fey Passage. You can squeeze through a space as narrow as 1 inch wide. For things like pixies and the old Tinkerbell style, there is that kind of, you can picture that and it makes sense. But being a small creature, which means you are probably like 3 foot tall, or even taller, 3 to 4 foot tall, is kind of weird to picture that, other than if you're turning into another substance. But trying to squeeze through would be kind of cartoony if you're trying to keep your corporeal self, unless you're going like all Mr. Fantastic style. Okay, next up we have Hobgoblin of the Feywild. And I like this, a variation from the very martial Hobgoblin that we have in the material plane. This is Hobgoblin of the Feywild. Hobgoblins trace their origins to the Feywild, where they first appeared with their goblin and bugbear kin. That history has left its mark, for though Hobgoblins are found throughout the material plane, they continue to channel an aspect of the Feywild's rule and reciprocity, which creates a mystical bond between the giver and the receiver of a gift. On some worlds, such bonds lead Hobgoblins to form communities with deep ties to each other. In the Forgotten Realms, vast Hobgoblin legions have emerged, with ranks upon ranks of devoted soldiers, noteworthy for how effective they are at fighting as a unit. Hobgoblins are generally taller than their goblin cousins, but not quite as big as bugbears. They have curved, pointy ears and noses that turn red or blue during displays of emotion. And here are the Hobgoblin traits. You are humanoid, and you are medium. Your speed is 30, so we're normal, regular Hobgoblin up to that point. You can see in dim light, so 60 feet of dark vision, and everything in darkness is shades of gray. You have Fey ancestry with this Hobgoblin. You have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid or end the charmed condition on yourself. And I thought I thought the original Fey ancestry included sleep, but maybe I'm wrong. Not sure. The next thing is Fey Gift. You can use this trait to take the help action as a bonus action. You can do so a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. A bonus action help action is fantastic. It is a great way to use your bonus action. This is not quite as powerful, obviously, as like the Mastermind Rogue, but still, it's great, and it gets other features. Let's take a look. So starting at 3rd level, choose one of the options below each time you take the help action, whether as a bonus action or an action. So this is every help action you do, not just the bonus action ones given through this Fey gift. So when you use the help action, you can either choose hospitality. So you and the target of your help action each gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 1d6 plus your proficiency bonus. So starting out, it's going to be 2 to 6 is your proficiency bonus. So that's not bad. That is 3 to 12 temporary hit points. So pretty nice, and that will scale on a number of times. Well, obviously with your proficiency bonus, and how many times you can use it per rest. So, or per long rest. Yeah, there we go. The second option is passage. You and the target of your help action each increase your walking speed by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Great thing if you have an ally that needs to get out of the action, or an ally that needs to get into the action, and you and them can both boost your speed. And the last one is spite. Until the start of your next turn, the first time you or the target of your help action hits a creature with an attack roll, that creature has disadvantage on the next attack roll that it makes within the next minute. This is very powerful. This is not just they have disadvantage on their attack roll against you or against the other creature, or in some instances, like against everyone but you. So if you're kind of like a provoke type thing, this is disadvantage on their next attack roll, period. And you can get this twice. You can get this effect twice because both you and the first time you or the target of your help action hits a creature. Yeah, I would say, as far as I'm reading that is both you and the target of your help action the first time you or the target. So is that the first time either of you or the first time one of you? The first of which hits. Not quite sure on that. Let me know what you think in the comments. But yeah, either way, even if it's just the first one of you that hits with an attack roll, or if it's both of you, it's still a fantastic effect. And wow, you get this anytime you use the help action. Super beneficial. I like this very much. The last ability for the Hobgoblin is the Fortune from the Many. If you miss with an attack roll or fail an ability check or saving throw, you can draw on your bonds of reciprocity to gain a bonus to the roll equal to the number of allies you can see within 30 feet of you. Maximum bonus of 5. You can use this trait a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This is great. This is kind of a parallel to the ability that you get, like saving face ability you get as the regular Hobgoblin. This is cool. I think the Hobgoblin of the Feywild or Fey Hobgoblin, how'd we put that? Hobgoblin of the Feywild. It's got a lot of love, especially when it's surrounded by, flying creatures. It's good to see that they got a lot of love here. Speaking of flying creatures, let's check out our other flying creature, the Owlfolk. Distant kin of giant owls, Owlfolk come in many shapes and sizes, from petite and fluffy to wide-winged and majestic. Owlfolk have arms and legs like other humanoids, as well as wings that extend from their back and shoulders. Because of their ancestral tie to the Feywild, Owlfolk can innately see the magic of their surroundings. Like owls, Owlfolk are graced with feathers that make no sound when they move or fly, making it easy for them to sneak up on you in the library. Your Owlfolk character might be nocturnal, or perhaps your character is simply prone to rise later, embodying the common nickname of Night Owl. The Night Owl traits here are: you are humanoid, and you can be medium or small Owlfolk, and you choose when you gain this race. Your walking speed is 30 feet, okay, and you have dark vision of 90 feet, so it's not superior dark vision of 120, and it's not 60-foot dark vision. You have dark vision of 90 feet, shades of gray, and you have magical sight, so your keen senses can focus to see the presence of magic. You gain the ability to cast Detect Magic spell, but only as a ritual. Your spellcasting ability for this spell is your choice of Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma. Again, with a choice. Very nice. You can also cast this spell normally with any spell slot you have. So, Detect Magic is a first level spell. You can cast it anytime as a ritual. You're not just tied to once per long rest, which is nice. And they make it so you can't just spam it. And the fact that you can use a spell slot on it is great. Having Detect Magic automatically in any class, well, especially as a martial class, but for any class, it's always useful to have. And wow, so you have flying, you have extended dark vision, 90-foot dark vision. You have Detect Magic. This is already starting to look pretty powerful. And we still have 2 more features to go. Next up, we have Nimble Flight. Thanks to your wings, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed. When you fall, you can use a reaction to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 10, which is extremely easy to pass, to stop falling and fly in place until the start of your next turn. This is pretty much a self-cast of Featherfall, and it is better flying than the Aarakocra. So all around, to me, with the Owlfolk, I would never pick an Aarakocra now, if this stands to stay past playtest. Our last feature is Silent Feathers. You have proficiency in the stealth skill. Again, we'll never play an Aarakocra again because this is very powerful, very useful, and as a DM, yikes. That's gonna like get past a bunch of situations. Though for the player, I mean, I love DMing for players with flying because it's very empowering. The problem is that when all the other players don't have flying, they're not included on a lot of things that can happen unless you're able to, you're able to carry them and do stuff. So there can be fun moments there. I just like to make sure every character feels equally as powerful, and that's a pretty nice stat. Yeah, pretty nice stat boost for the Owlfolk. Okay, next up we have Rabbitfolk. So this is an interesting addition here. Bounding across the wilds, Rabbitfolk from the Feywild embody a spirit of freedom and travel. Rabbitfolk are bipedal with the characteristic long feet of the animal they resemble and fur in a variety of colors. They share the keen senses and powerful legs of the leaperin. I was going to Leo there. Leaperin creatures and are full of energy, like a wound-up spring. Rabbitfolk are blessed with a little fey luck, and they often find themselves a few fortunate feet away from dangers during adventures. So your creature type is humanoid. You are a medium or small Rabbitfolk. I like the choice there. Your walking speed is 30 feet. And I like this first ability here, Hair Trigger. You add your proficiency bonus to your initiative rolls, which is nice. A nice static bonus, easy to calculate, and very powerful, very powerful. I like that. Next up, we have Lucky Footwork. When you fail a dexterity saving throw, you can use a reaction to roll a d4 and add it to the result, potentially turning the failure into a success. That's good. Good. So you have a bonus, not quite as good as having advantage on them, but obviously, but every little bit helps. So it's like a bless for your dex saves. And last up, we have Rabbit Hop. Once during each of your turns, when you walk at least 5 feet, you can hop, rolling a d12 and moving that many feet in a direction of your choice. This extra distance doesn't count or doesn't cost movement, but you can hop only if your speed isn't 0. I love this feature, but that is a lot of calculating and heartache. Rolling a d12 every 5 feet until you run out of movement, and then you stop and do it all over again. If you have characters that want to calculate that over long distances, it's just yeah, I think there can be a more simplified way to calculate that. I do like that, and the fact that the Rabbitfolk is, in my opinion, compared to the other 3 races here, underpowered. But if you have this hop, this static hop that is essentially increasing your movement speed by a lot, if you can get that down to a more simple formula, I think that would help level out the playing field there. Yeah, so those are our 4 new race options in Unearthed Arcana and playtest. Check them out, submit the survey, and let's let Wizards know what we think. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. Let me know what you think about these subclasses. Blech. I'm used to doing these Tasha's subclass stuff. These racial options here in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you all very soon. Until next time, unity is strength, so take care of each other, stay safe, and see you again soon.